Hey everybody, guess what? Sometimes I get lucky. Look at this right here. Looky, looky, looky. What we got? This correction could be done. Holy shnikes. I love it, man. I love it. Please, for the love of the market, let this be it. I'm done chopping. I don't know about you all. I'm ready to be done. That's booyah right there. Right there. Look at this one. Booyah right there. Chow. This one hit that level 78 right there. I got alerts. We got in the zone between right there. We tapped it. Chow. And this one made a lower low. Look at that. Finally made the lower low. Then all the way back here in August. 6 months, whatever it has been, whatever I said, we need a lower low. There it is. Bang. Got it. Now, can we freaking go higher from here? Please. I'm sure you all are sick of this choppy consolidation crap in the market. I certainly am. We finally tagged it. Maybe that could finally be the end of this, at least for now. We'll have another bigger correction later. The market, that was not the only correction we'll ever have. We're going to have more, but I'm ready to be done with this one. I don't know about you all. That's pretty much satisfied everything I was looking for. Got it. Got it. Love it. All right, so looking at ES, we could clean this all up. Simplify right now. This high, this low. We break back above that 618. Up there. Still the same zone. Ridiculous. Hadn't changed the target at all. Here's the potential. Now, for those saying, well, what about cash? We might get a little, when we open up, but to watch out, we could get a little flush right at the open. Now, markets don't typically bottom on a Friday. We may drag this into Monday. It's always a possibility. But when you roll back through here, there are occasions where we do bottom on a Friday and we go ripping off. That one's a Monday. That one was a Friday. Right there. That was a Friday. We didn't make a lower low on Monday. So it is possible. It does occasionally. That one was a Friday. We do occasionally get the reversal. All right. Just keep it in mind. That gotta, stay flexible, stay frosty, my friends, stay frosty. I like seeing the bottom though, but I hate being pessimistic. I mean, I dislike being pessimistic. Not much I hate in the world. I dislike being pessimistic. Cheats, liars, and stealers. I kind of hate them, but I dislike being pessimistic in the market. It takes a lot of energy out of me to be pessimistic. I'd rather be optimistic that we're going higher, but we needed those downside corrections, and we're finally satisfying all of them. Finally. We potentially bounced here overnight. We're grinding on that 5-minute in the futures. ES futures. This is the S&P 500 futures. If you're unfamiliar, we're kind of grinding that 5-minute. If we can get through, we've got the 15-minute and then the 30 minutes, and we've got to go up here, and then we've got to break through the 30 minutes. We reject it off pretty hard. Then we've got to get through the 1 hour. We haven't even been up there since back on the 21st, a whole week ago. Imagine that. And then the 4 hour above that, right at the 618. So we've got stuff to work through, but things look pretty good for having a bottom or making a bottom. We could get one little squiggle down and kind of flush this up, clean it up, and finally, that's what I gotta say. Finally, we could potentially be done here. Finally. Maybe this was enough. Now, what if it's not enough? It's the conversation we need to have. Where might we not have a bottom? If this doesn't hold, if we start breaking through, breaking down, if that wasn't good enough, this is probably the next area down here. Do I want to see it? Not really, but that's our next potential area down if we start breaking through this zone right up here. Cool. Love it. So if we start getting below 5,800 at this point, still got 85 points of slush here. We might take this all the way down here. Not what I want to see, but entirely possible. It's not my primary expectation, put it that way. It's probably 25% likely at this point. 75% likely we're going to go cruising on up to a higher high. Could be all the way up into, we don't even have to stop at this 63. We could cruise on up to 65 to 66. We could really do a spicy pop here. Could be something up here. But if we do that, that's probably it. That's probably the top of the market for a while. Potentially 10 to 20 years, maybe. So not what I'm really looking for. Anyway, we're nearing the end, my friends. Nearing the end. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results, just because I kind of predict things and get them right. Doesn't mean I will ever get it right again. My predictions for the top may be completely full of crap. My predictions for the bot, for targets on the downside, may be completely full of crap. I don't know. I'm just a guy, makes predictions here on YouTube. Tend to get it right, but you make your choice. Do you want to follow me? Do you not? I don't know. I leave it up to you. But thank you all for being here. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument. So if you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. There we go. We had PCE come out this morning. PCE. To kind of a nothing burger, right? Right in line. Nothing burger. We go look at the calendar. We get the year over year. Got to roll back up just a little bit. See the personal income came in a little higher. And so things are great, right? Personal spending came in lower though. PCE year over year came in line. Month over month in line. Kind of nothing, right? Nothing. No big surprises. No big nothing. Everything's pretty stable. It's kind of a nothing burger on the price action. So we had a little bit of flash right there at 8:30 when that came out. A little bit of flash, but couldn't break through the 5 minutes. Couldn't hold it. Came back down where we were before the news came out. Made a higher low, but look at the 5 minute price action. We're gonna have to get a little more juice going. So PCE market just kind of shrugged. And this is the last day of February. Cool. Right. So, what do we got coming up next week? Well, let's take a look. Take a look. Monday, ISM manufacturing. Not really. I mean, that's after the market opens. Not really. I mean, it matters, but doesn't tend to move our markets a whole lot. You know, maybe a small bit of volatility. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, get some non-farm employment change. Get more of the ISM numbers. Not really much. Thursday, normal unemployment claims. Not really much again. And then Friday, we get the normal monthly jobs report, unemployment rate. Maybe it moves the market a little bit. We've got Fed Chair Powell speaking tentatively right there on Friday. So another week of not really a whole lot happening economic news-wise. We have the next FOMC meeting coming up right here, right down there in March. So we've got 2 more weeks, and then we've got another Fed meeting coming up. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? So far, the not crazy inflation. Things are looking rosy. Probably not going to cut rates. Probably not going to do much at this point. So, what's going to move this market? Maybe just some stability, right? Maybe some, like, the market likes to know what's going on and have confidence. And that leads to stability, and we get higher prices. So maybe some stability in everything can actually let the market go higher. I'm just kind of speculating here, but I think holding rates steady, quit tinkering with them, quit tinkering with all the other stuff everybody's tinkering with. I think it can bring some stability to the market. We can see some higher prices. But we've needed a correction for a while, and this is a pretty good one we're in right now. So that's where we're at economic news-wise. Popping back over, look at the calendar really quickly. Again, this was a pretty big week of earnings. Look at that. We had almost 800 on Monday, 1,300 on Tuesday, 2,300 on Wednesday, 2,100 yesterday, and 1,300 today. That's a bunch of earnings. Now, next week, down to 200, 500, 700, 1,000, and almost 200 again. That's significantly less earnings. So the earnings announcement is going to dial back. Everything's kind of, we're mostly through the big chunk of companies. Now, there's earnings almost every single day the market's open. Almost, as we roll on down to the end of the quarter, you can see there's earnings pretty much every day all the way through the end of the quarter. And then we ramp into the next quarter, and there's more earnings. As we get into April, it's a whole new earnings cycle again. We'll see money flow into financials, then flow out of financials into tech, and then it's the same cycle we see every 3 months. So, today, how do we make some money? What do we got to watch? Let's go through it. Let's look. Now, let's check in on these right here. After that big flush out in the market, this one didn't really move. So where the money came out was mostly the Mag 7 stuff. And looking at this right here, NVIDIA fell out of the $3 trillion club along with Microsoft. Look at that. Down below 3 trillion after that rout yesterday, down about 8%. Couldn't hold on. It's kind of interesting. But it didn't really have much. Ooh, spicy. Let's go look at that really quickly before I forget. Oh, yeah. At the downside target. Opportunity. If you're brave enough, put some at risk here. Jumping back over here. Well, lots of alerts. Lots of things potentially setting up today. That just shows very narrow what was pulling back. Very narrow. Didn't take the broad market down with it. S5FI, stocks above the 50-day. Again, very narrow here. Cool. Trading view going to be slow. 900 gazillion people checking it like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's going to crash. Anyway, S5FI, hanging in the middle. No big flush, right? We didn't get one of these candles. We didn't get something like that. This is kind of relatively narrow in what's pulling back in the market, is what this all tells us. S5TH, that one actually moved a little bigger than, but not really big. I mean, just a couple points. But we've had bigger candles right over here. Bigger candle right over here. Look back in August, look at those big candles. Big flush. That was a big broad market flush. This flush right now, kind of a nothing burger. Just taking the froth off of some of the big Mag 7 stuff. That's what it seems to be. That's what the story is telling us right here. It's not a broad reaching correction. Even though it feels nasty, it's not really dragging everything down. We're seeing money kind of disperse into the market, which could lead us to a bigger upside when everything kind of goes. And we're seeing it give it back just a little bit. And seeing that S&P might dip down. We might get that dip. Remember, we might see some dip. Not far away there. Put an alert. All right. Add it. There, come on. There we go. Might go ahead and dip that. And could make a lower low than, we might even see it dip all the way down to the bottom to get a lower low than this low right back here. It's entirely possible. We'll see. We'll see what happens today. This is interesting. Russell. And come on. Come on, TradingView. Must be the server I'm connected to. Maybe I should reload. Save it real quick. Reload. Maybe I can connect to a faster connection. Update your password to stay safe. So at this point, that's looking like the first move down, the retrace, maybe just to a 50%. So when I look at this, pull this back up here, pull this over here. The target right now, right down here around 2,000. If that was the first move down and we echo that move on Russell. Go like this. Copy, paste. You can just do it with drawing tools. You don't even have to do it with fib tools. Look at that right there. Target right down in here. Didn't break higher at this point. So Russell not looking super spicy, awesome. Now, potential for this to make a bottom and come back up to retest this 618 zone. And we may pull this on down. We may. So look at this a different way. Let's go to a clean chart really quickly. Just clean this up. Let's just talk about this. Now, when you get a pullback from a high down to a low, the 618, as I was talking about yesterday quite a bit, the 618 tends to be in a spot that makes a lot of sense. This one doesn't quite look right there. Now, if you pull this down just a hair, that's looking a little better. Now, yeah, those candles were above it a little bit, but what happens is these candles right over here line up also, coming all the way across like that. That right there, that right there, that right there, that right there. All that action right there starts to look a little better if Russell dips on down to about this level right here. The fibs tend to put themselves in the right spot when we make the move. It's kind of weird that way. And then that would be resistance for going right there. So that 618 looks like it needs to be down just a little bit from where we are right now, which means that Russell may need to hit this level right down here just below 2100 to put it in the right spot, which could bottom without hitting that 2032 level. Be pulling it down just a hair more right then there. So it's possible that we go dipping right down in there, find a bottom, come up, find resistance, and then so it's kind of interesting, right? Oil just sitting here on support, not really being very interesting at all. If we break down below support, we're going on down to about 60. If we can hold this area, we may drift back up and retest that resistance right there at the roadmap line. GC, guess what? Who's glad we didn't take the gold rush trade this week? Potential for that to come all the way back down to the roadmap line. Where's the safe haven, right? Like, we're selling off in the market. What the heck's going on with gold? I thought gold was the place to flee. And, you know, guess what? Be careful with those market narratives. Gold topped out. That was a top out. And probably going to retrace. Be careful on these flight to safety things. Bitcoin, it's never been a flight to safety. It's not a, this is a risk on, risk off asset. It tends to outperform the market, both to the upside and the downside. What does risk on, risk off mean? It means when the market is risk averse, we see Bitcoin decline. When the market is full on risk, ready to go, this thing outperforms to the upside. Money tends to pour in here. When we're ready to go higher in the market, we see money coming in, and this goes higher in a leveraged way. When we see the market kind of risk averse, we're not sure what's going to happen, we see this experience a pullback. There you go. This hit the downside that I've been looking for. Finally. That was the 30% pullback. Here's the high. 30%. Right in the neighborhood. If you look at the actual cash index here, let's just clear a bunch of the stuff off. We've got that high right there. We've got this low all the way down there. The 618 looks like it's in the right spot. Right in there. I mean, we might have just a shade lower to go. It might spike just a little bit, but I think we're pretty much in the ballpark of being done. Love it. Ether, like I said, that got the lower low finally. We can be done. Could be. Now, if we start breaking down, this could go down here. That's the cautionary. This is not necessarily bullish. This may be set up for a bigger bearishness. As in, oop, moving the wrong thing there. As in, first move down, bounced off of that resistance. Next move down could put us down that triple digit numbers. That'd be pretty devastating on Ethereum. Be careful out there. NKD. Uh-oh. Got out of the bottom of the box. This hit all sorts of alerts for me last night. Keep an eye on this one. If we start breaking on down, this could be indicating we're going to get a bigger flush. If this continues down, we might see a bigger flush in the market. Dollar. Hey, dollar's hanging. Strong yesterday. Market went down. It was correlated when it's correlated. It's not when it's not. Just happens to be correlated yesterday. Nvidia took that big spill yesterday. Still at a higher low. Still caution. We could see this flush on down. This could come down here to the 70, 80 area. It has that potential. Be careful. We didn't do the rocket ship thing. We busted it. We kind of busted that pattern. So, oh well. Not working. Now, I go pull everything moving $2 or more up in the pre-market, put it on the gainers list. $2 or more down in the pre-market, put it on the decliners list. And we go through it looking for opportunities. Hey, my favorite subscriber, Kimberly, in the house. And this one has not been able to break through this resistance. Maybe a smaller roadmap bounce in place here. We could actually hit the target without breaking out and going up for the bigger target here on ESTC. This little bounce right here could go up, hit that 121 area, not break above the prior resistance. And so there's an opportunity right there. That's actually a setup. Opportunity. ASML. I still hold. This probably needs a flush down to the lower 600s before we can find a bottom here. Just watch out. We've got an uptrend of lows in place. Break through that, maybe a fast flush. ENTG. Okay, let's see here. This has a measured bounce. It's holding on for dear life to this one. It's not a stock I even remember talking about, but see upside potential on this one. If we can get back up through the roadmap line, potentially up here. FAS. Churning. Remember what I said. March is the last month of the quarter. Now, it's a long time, really. We've got a lot of days left in March. The whole month worth. But then we see money flow into financials ahead of financial earnings at the beginning of the quarter in April. That may go on up and hit that target 190 right there. SIG, which is, need to pull up the US version. Signet Jewelers. Hunting for that low. Oh, we got so close. I would expect that to dip just a little more. I don't think that's the bottom. Come on, that's not the bottom. We got to dip just a little more. Although that's a lot of dollars worth. A lot of percent worth. ADSK. Hey, good morning, everybody. Morning. I didn't even say good morning, everybody. I was so hyped up on the targets here. Don, Darren, Donald, Gary, Frank, channel members Dan, Svenborn, Sergio, Arturo, David, Ivan, Cliff, Diane, Ted, Mark, Amy, Ed, Rob, Diane, JB, Roland, Sledge, my man. Good to see you as always. Rob, David, John. Glad to see everybody. And Kimberly, of course. My favorite. So, Autodesk. Maybe a little more downside. ETHD. Short Ethereum up to the roadmap line. That could be a roadmap bounce. This kind of fits with everything, right? Fits with stuff we watch. That could be a bounce off of the roadmap line. We go down on the ultra short Ethereum ETF here. NTRA. It's kind of funny, right? Like you think about it, like Ethereum might have a bottom at where the ultra short hits the roadmap line. That makes too much sense. Craziness. NTRA. Let's clean this up. Probably going to come down for the roadmap line, huh? If I was guessing. Now, it could bottom here. Could be a 4-hour bounce. Possible. Doesn't have to come down to the daily. Could just break through and come on up. 188, 192. Yang. China must be pulling back. Little reprieve on the drop here in Yang. Yen. Pulling back off of the, look at that, bounced off the 618 level. Pulling back. This may come back down. Probably means Baba suffering a little bit. Yep, a little bit of pullback off those targets. As I said, we may need to come back to retest the breakout here, this zone. May need to pull back to here to go higher. It was on the decliners list too. DEO, Diego. Still hunting the bottom. It was on the poppers list. Now it's almost flat. May need one more spike down. Potential that this goes and makes a lower low than 100. We could do that. Reset the charts. Set up something bullish off of that. NUE. There's the low. There's the roadmap line. Guess what that sets up? Just clear everything off here. Got this low. Got this high. If we break down below the 618, continuation down here. Simple as that right there. Look at that right there. Potential to go down. Did it before. That's the trend. Like bounce, lower low, bounce, lower low, bounce. Why would you not expect lower low? Look at the bigger picture. See if this all jives. Looks like we might go visit that low right there. That fits. If it fits, it ships. Cha-ching. I bet Nucor drops down a little bit. BIIB. I'm not putting money on it. I would set the alerts and stock that one. You load up long if it gets down here. If it breaks above the roadmap line, back tests, you know, this for those that are like, well, I'm heavy into it and this sucks. Let's just talk about it a second here. If it does the break above here, if we break out, come back, retest, that's bullish. But right now, with the way we rejected off of that, there's your warning. We get below that, we're probably coming down here. Maybe making a lower low here. Or maybe just testing that zone right there. BIIB. I don't know what would tell you that's the bottom. I mean, that's... Daggone. That can keep going down. this kind of stuff. Jiminy Christmas, man. That's the bubble pattern. Chopped a lot. This may return back to this zone right here. It's pharmaceutical stuff, so be careful. Don't always follow the patterns. DGNX. Getting crazy again. Zoomer up, zoomer up, zoomer up. Yeah, this can keep being crazy and then all of a sudden pull back violently, so be careful. This one just keeps showing up. Keeps showing up every day. And I'm not sure what the Series B shares are, but this is highly likely to come back down here eventually. I haven't dug in to see what the Series B is all about on QVC, but QVC, got Series notes, Series A shares, QVCA, QVCA, GA. That's weird. Why is it listed in India? Weird. Ooh. Preferred shares, not doing so hot. Let's see the A. And Series A went lower, so watch out for the Series B. They might take a bath. It's weird that the B's are up, but the A's are, and the preferreds are down. That's an odd thing. Duolingo, guess what? Right back to the roadmap line. I think I said that might do that, if I recall. Well, there's the high. Here's the low. That 618 looks like it's in the right spot. So look for this to hold. Turn. Break above. 460 on the upside. If we don't hold, if we start getting down here below 275, probably coming back down into the 175 area. That's a big risk if we start breaking below 275. PRAX. For those of you that are in my VIP Termite Trading Lab group, and you're sitting here like, man, I just don't understand how you do that. We're gonna practice some of these, like where would you draw the support resistance zone when we have the in-person event coming up in 2 weeks. So don't you worry, we're gonna practice some of this. And this is a dumpster fire with a reverse split, giant drop, just kind of what you expect out of a dumpster fire. And this may come all the way back down to the lows. HCA, more healthcare, plummeting out, bounced off the roadmap line. Initial move down, retrace, next move down, probably going to make a move lower, would be my guess. Targets down here around 270, 280 would be what I would expect, right down in there. In TAP, check it out, heading for the targets pretty quickly. Now this could bottom right there at that like prior low, so this could be done. It's a potential, but that's done on the downside. That could set up a measured bounce. It's the minimum I needed to see for a measured bounce. Probably take us up to this area right now, but there's potential for this to go even lower. So you really want to see it on the smaller time frames, do some bullish stuff and maintain a move higher. You know, right now, all these roadmap lines are way up here at the prior price action, and we're way down here. It's going to be really tough put your money at risk until we start breaking above. For me, you may be like, no problem. I'm in. But I like to have a little more confidence because, another 10% downside. And really, the pattern breaks down here, which is 25% downside off of where we are. I don't want to risk 25% for potential double. If this was like a triple or a quadruple, maybe, but it's not fitting with me right now. PTIR, watch for this to come on down. We're getting the fluff taken out of the markets. PLTR, still working its way down to the roadmap line. Anybody surprised at this point? You can let me know. Getting close. Reddit, potentially coming on back to the roadmap line. TEM, back to the roadmap line. Man, look at that. Can't make this stuff up. Look at that bounce. Perfect. We didn't even have the roadmap line over here, but that's how it would kind of be if it had enough candles. Look at that beautiful hit right there. Beautiful retrace. If we don't hold that, probably going lower. Beautiful stuff. These patterns just work over and over. So there's the high, there's the low. If we break back above, we can see 97.102 on this one. If we get below, here's your next support. And if we get below that, might be going on down. Yeah, that's a long way down, so be careful chasing TEM. DLO. Wow. What do we do? That low, that high. If we can hold the measured bounce. Upside targets. Potentially right here. It's almost a double on shares right there. Everybody's like, how do you find these big opportunities on shares? Well, there's one. And if we get below 8, so this is like risk $1.32 right now to potentially make 9, maybe 10. That's a pretty good risk reward for shares right there on DLO. Now, it may fail and just break on down. So this is one you got to be careful of. But that could be a pretty good return right there. It's an interesting opportunity. SMCL. Who might have said SMCI? Who might have said that this was going lower? Anybody remember the guy that said this might be heading on down? Hopefully nobody's long that one, hoping for higher prices. Now it could hold like this. There's potential that this be gonna bounce. So we're at that 618 level right there. So we could bounce again back up in here before we come on down. I'm not saying it has to just drop out. Like we could bounce. Like it's going to be highly likely we're going to see this go over the coming weeks and months. PLTU coming on down. Bob X. That I mentioned, I don't know, yesterday, day before, that we might come back to the breakout level. Well, we're getting pretty close here. There's kind of the roadmap here. Probably going to come down, retest the breakouts. Then do we bounce, or do we get a bigger, deeper retrace right there? Kind of levels to watch. PLTY, yeah, just getting pillaged. Coin holding up really well. Actually, like look at how much Bitcoin's flushing, and this is holding right here pretty well. this might be indicative that we're about to turn and burn, get above this, sets up the bigger targets. This is a measured bounce, and the bigger targets potentially all the way up in the 500s. I nod. Watch out for that one to come back to. David, man, great job booking profit back there. Great job, dude. Maybe we hold the breakouts, but if we don't, coming back here. GDS, watch for that to come on down. C-Web, watch for like that. Bounced off of here, probably coming back down. NVIDIA. Be careful on NVIDIA. This is a bearish indication. This leverage chart, bouncing off the roadmap line, potentially going lower. It's a warning that we may see a bigger flush in NVIDIA. The leverage charts kind of provide, it's like shake the bowl full of tea leaves and try to read it. These leveraged instruments are indicating that we may be seeing a bigger flush out in NVIDIA. They've been kind of prophesizing that since we made this high back in June of last year, setting up this potential downside here. UCLO, that looks kind of like the bubble pattern. It may come back down to that zone, roadmap line. Bulls with a Z. Oh, missed the target. Deep retrace. This, if this correction keeps on going, this will probably come back to these lows over here. That zone. Baidu popped up, retracing. And this looks like it wants to come on down until the 618 is right at the roadmap line. So it wouldn't surprise me to see another $6 downside on Baidu. Bitco, one of the Bitcoin ETFs, finally hitting the roadmap line. That 618 looks like it's in the right spot. Watch for Bitcoin to turn and burn, break through, get some upside, 112. Oil, that looks like it wants to come on down. Don't know for sure, but that just looks like that's what that wants to do. NG1, exclamation point. Yeah, that potentially topped out there. Looks like we might be getting the seasonal pullback here. Maybe that means cold will rally. Doesn't look like it's performing very well. That's a tough one to play. I've been staying out of natural gas because it's just tough to play. So anyway, that's the list for the day. I don't really have a bonus trade because the market just looks kind of nasty. I don't really feel like getting anybody involved in anything that might just destroy you for today. Maybe we turn and burn. Maybe we can find a bottom today. Bias for the day. I would love to see this bounce. Like, I'd love to see the bottom in. We made the attempt to touch the roadmap line. That may be it. That might work. That might be it, everybody. So I'd watch for this one. If this one can turn green, we start getting green on NASDAQ, that's probably the indication we might be able to rip. Right there. Hope you have a great day. I'll be back with you again. 9:15 Monday morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. Do it all over again. Look for stuff moving. Opportunities in the market. Hope you have a great one. See ya.